everybody, welcome to another YouTube video. I am Robelle Autonomy. Today we're reacting to a Genshin Impact trailer. It's for a character I've been very excited for. I haven't even seen the version update trailer yet, so I haven't even seen the live stream. So I'm going into this kind of like, there's no spoilers at all, so I don't even know what to expect. I did react to Durin's teaser, but the wonderful comments that actually told me that I had the lore wrong, which, you know what, my bad. I am getting very rusty on Genshin lore. A lot of this stuff happens over a very long period of time, and there's so much other gacha games that I'm also trying to pay attention to. So by all means, if I did anything wrong, please let me know down below in the comments. I really do appreciate it when you guys let me know. They're gonna be reacting to the character trailer for Durin, a story born for this. I'd really excited for this. Durin is a character I've been very excited for a long time. Well, not really for like a long time, because I didn't know he was even gonna be playable until Simulacra or Simulacra. I don't remember what that. I don't remember what that summer event was called. But I really loved that summer event, and then they hinted that he might become, you know, like a whole person. And then ever since Paralogism, where we made a Durin a real human being via alchemy, and I was like so excited. I saw the design. That live stream is actually in the live tab on the YouTube channel if you want to go find the reaction for that. You're probably gonna have to search for it now if you're looking for that. But anyways, let's go look at this trailer. Now, just a heads up, we are gonna go over it frame by frame at the start. We're gonna go over look for any secrets, look for any lore, and then after that, we will watch it again without pausing so we can enjoy the music and also kind of see what the flow of the video is like. Also, it helps us kind of understand everything before we watch it. So we're kind of pre-watching it and before watching it. That's how I do my reactions. Except I do the pre-watch before we watch it. And like I do it while recording. Anyway, let's just hop right into it. Let's watch this because it's not I didn't pre-watch it before this. I made it very confusing 5 seconds ago. Let's just hop right into it. Alright, we're starting. This is my first time seeing anything. Let's go.
It's hard not to envy the characters in a fairy tale.
Alright, so this is for N, I believe, which is Mona's master, and I believe that's who he views as a mother. Because, like, the original Durin was made by Ryan Daughter, but Ryan Daughter kind of let them, like, super die. So, I'm not entirely sure. Again, I thought Durin's mother was Ryan Daughter because Albedo is... They're quote-unquote brothers, right? And so I was like, oh, okay, so... that makes... Durin's mom Ryan Daughter, but no, if you look at the lore for Simulacra, it was very much like Env or Mona's master, I believe. I think that's correct, please. The Hex and Circle lore, I'm like super rusty on because they spaced that stuff out like immensely. We're only really capitalizing off of it like recently in 6.0 and Runa 1, Runa 2, Runa 3. And so I'm pretty sure he views Mona's master or M as his... Or is it M? Or is M Mona's master? I don't even know anymore. It's one of the Hex and Circle numbers. Let's continue.
Always turning fate on its head.
I will say that was a really sick transition. Like, writing down the first page of this fairy tale, writing on the first word with the dip pen here, and it transitions directly into the pen turning into Durin, right? It's like Durin was born from the fairy tale, which that's kind of what happened. We jumped into a storybook, and then there we saved the fictional Durin in that story world and brought them into the real world, and that led to them becoming a real person, which is really... It's not super symbolic, it's more just kind of like, it's just really cool fantasy storytelling.
And getting there happily ever after.
And that's the thing, like, the original Durin did not get a happy ending, so like, writing them into like a fairy tale where they can have a happy ending, which is what we eventually achieved. But here you can still see there is a lot of turmoil still in Durin. Actually, I'm kind of wondering. So we're zooming in. This is very, like, this resembles like the Durin's heart that's in Dragon's Spine. It doesn't look exactly the same, but it looks like it. And you can see it's split in two. The kind of show that, yes, this is not the original Durin that's on Dragon's Spine. This is a separate entity that's split off from that. Okay, we got the kind of cool, like, graffiti scribble. It's not, like, this didn't originate in Arcane, but it was definitely, like, brought to more attention in the show Arcane. They had more emphasis on that, but this is really sick stuff. You don't really see this unless you're watching frame by frame. Oh, it's so sick. The inner demon inside the dragon. I guess in a dragon inside, which is very demon-esque.
These are tales
Oh, that was sick. The transitions in this are like flawless. Like it's over the course of like one frame, right? Like there's no smooth transition. It's here's a regular colored Durin, and then now Durin is terrifying looking. The pupils, the eyes shrunk down a little bit to show a little bit of madness. He's slightly cross-eyed on purpose to show that madness, show that turmoil.
These are tales where even lost souls can find their way back to the light, where pain and misfortune.
Oh my goodness. I love it. They're doing this thing where it's like, yeah, actually Durin was born from basically pure evil, but we're trying to give Durin a happy ending, so we're kind of shifting between the two. Inside is that dragon that's the dangerous dragon that almost ended Mondstadt. Oh wait, that was really cool. Was it just punching the air? There, he punched nothing. In the 5 seconds of this transition, it was cool, but now that we slowed it down and look at it frame by frame, minus 1000 aura.
Twists and turns become
Oh, and the pen's going crazy! Holy moly, it's writing the entire book! And so, since this is animated at 24 FPS, you can see they have to do motion blur, they have to smear it a lot to kind of give it that speed, because again, we're not running at 60 FPS or anything like that. We are at a very tailored film like 24, animated on ones, which is very impressive. That means that every single keyframe here is something that the animators had to, sit down and, I'm assuming this is a 3D model and so they're posing this, but I could be wrong. The thing is, this whole scene is very rendered, it looks very painterly, so I don't know if this is a 3D model or not, and since we're animated at 24 FPS, I would say maybe the entire thing is painted, and then the pen is a 3D model, with textures that look very hand-painted. And that's how they're able to animate it so consistently. That is just a theory though, I actually can't tell. The blending on it, like the blending between the environment and this pen is so good. I just find it hard to believe that someone sat down and, and drew this pen over and over again in a painterly fashion. So I think this is at the bare minimum a 3D model. Everything else is probably hand painted. It's probably not 3D. These are just 2D images that they're using the fake 3D. Look at that. The pen is over here and it jumps all over here because it's moving so fast. And the thing is, in motion, you don't see it. You don't see that it's literally teleporting around because the movement and the way it's posed makes it feel like it's moving, if that makes sense.
Turns become nothing more than a footnote in an otherwise perfect ending.
I really like... I know we're like 7 minutes into the video and I'm only 30 seconds into the demo. But I really, really like the directing here. So they're really trying to show like the inner turmoil inside Durin. They're really showing off that, it's two sides of the same coin. Right beneath Durin's, cute exterior that is a dragon that was once a big terror. And they're showing that he's struggling with that by having him look around hesitantly. Right, he's basically panicking. Well, he's not panicking. But like he is flying through space. He doesn't know what's happening. And you can see he actually does a tumble here. He's spinning around to show that he is confused. He doesn't know what direction to go in. This is some really, really top-notch directing. And then you see, this is so good. I have to point this out again. Again, I like doing these reactions because I like to point out just how much work and effort and how much thought gets put into these animations for just these character trailers, right? And I really do wish that the in-game cutscenes had just as much work as these, but this is what convinces people to buy their character, not just the story quest, right? This is how you have to convince somebody within the span of 2 minutes. So they really put in a lot of extra effort. Hey, you want to pull this character, you're attached to them now. But okay, anyway, just to point this out again because I went off on a tangent. He's spinning out of control, he doesn't know what's happening. And our eye is focused on the middle because we're looking at him, right? And then this transition, our eye is looking over here now, right? But this is the center of the spiral of whatever is drawn on here. To show that, like, Durin is spinning into this spiral. Just to lean more into that hecticness, the craziness that's happening in their turmoil. And now he's falling fast. His inner demon is trying to fight its way out, claw its way out. Oh, he's regaining control? Dang, these are so sick looking, but I am curious, is this him coming to accept that new dragon, or is it him trying to suppress it? Because they're portraying this dragon as like a monster, a demon, maximum aura farming. You know, this thing is dangerous. Look out, it's got this scratchy graffiti and painterly art style all around it. It's uncontrollable, it's rebellious, it's fighting. The eyes are, you know, the eyes are really, they're leaking out white, they're leaking out power. Oh dang, it's like roaring towards the light. While our, you know, Saint Durin is navigating the falling stars here. On the new lands. Oh, okay, no. It's not just internal, it's now external, and now he has to fight it. He has to fight his evil self. A little cliche, but I feel like, you know, this character has been built up long enough that he's kind of earned the right to just lean into this cliche because, well, the story set it up this way. I do like that he's rendered, like the demon version is rendered very, very different. If you notice around the face, there really isn't clear line art, and there isn't clear line art around the rest of the body either, save for maybe the hood here to separate, you know, the body from that hood. And then his hair has clean line art, but like the hair is very plasticine looking. It's very smooth. It's very ethereal in comparison to our actual Durin who looks very much like an anime character, especially if you pause it. The line art on him is very prominent. It is a 3D shader that they're using. A 3D outline, very, very nice looking. I like that they're also fighting inside the fantasy book. They're fighting inside Simulanka. Or at least something that looks very similar. Anyway, so we're just doing action scenes. Very, very cool. I'm liking the build up on these attacks. So instead of going for something super duper fast, the slash is over in a second. There's a lot of build up. Actually, if you look, he's not even like really moving forward that fast. The camera's moving towards him to increase that speed while kind of keeping this build up slow. And then on the follow-up, or the end of the action, there's a lot of frames that they're using to slow down the swing towards the end to show that the action is over. That's pretty cool. Now we got some impact frames. We always have to enjoy the impact frames. I do feel like these gacha games, ever since they discovered, hey, we can do impact frames, they've kind of been spamming them, so I feel like definitely the impact of an impact frame is definitely feels a little bit less impactful in today's day and age. At least the regular ones that rely on the black and white. But it still looks very, very good. Like, that is so, so sick that it kind of smears and you can see his face a lot more clearly. This is for the demon one, which is pretty cool. And it looks like his regular face here, rather than the demon face when it's inside the impact frame because the colors are basically inverting. Or at least the contrast is inverting, not the colors itself. And a big explosion. They did smear frames again, or not smear frames, impact frames again, but they were stars this time. Now, the star symbol, very, very important in Genshin Impact. They haven't been spamming it super duper like a ton as of late, but with the hex and circle kind of coming into, you know, more of a spotlight for the story, we're seeing them a lot more. It really does like lead to more it all reminds me of like classic Genshin back in 1.0 when most of us started. Like, I feel very nostalgic for that. I did go back and watch somebody like play the beginning of Genshin again, and I can't say it aged very, very well, but it still holds a special place in my heart because back when it released during those COVID, you know, the COVID times, right, 1.0 Genshin really was like, it was like, you know, super duper peak fantasy at the time. It was so, so cool. And then over time, we've, you know, gone through so many different settings with all the different regions that you end up missing that early on Genshin base. Even for people that didn't start on, like, you know, the very beginning patch, that's still the starting area. So anyone that struggled through that, I feel like we'd be very, very attached to it. Oh dang, we're losing against the demon! Durin has lost track of it, and now the pen is like scribbling out parts of the story it doesn't agree with. Or parts that it's like, it's changing the story. So Durin here is distracted by the zoning attack, or the different diamond weird projectiles being shot at him. And and the enemy sneaks up on us. I mean, I like how they represent that by splattering Ming. So you can see it looks like he starts to slash, right? But of course it's not gonna show, you know, our main character, the one they're trying missiles, getting struck by a sword. You know, and essentially kind of losing a bit of that aura, losing a bit of that desirability because they're losing. They cut away, so the sword kind of transitions into the pen, scripting out the words that it doesn't view it. And then, to kind of mimic blood splatter, the ink splatters, which is really cool. And we get sent backwards really far. That's where the fight was. And so we got sent to a whole other platform. Now, of course, Durin's not bleeding, right? The ankle is more symbolic, like, oh, we're taking damage. Oh, that was a nice impact hit. They were using impact frames again. It's supposed to be impact frames because you don't use them often, so I feel like we're starting to lose even more of the impact, especially because we see them so often with all of the character ultimates, with all of the trailers that have been using it over and over again. And what's a build-up? It's like 10 frames for the action, and then the actual motion itself is only like 3. Into the impact frames. Gosh dang. These are really good impact frames, by the way, but again, they are spamming it a little bit. It's beginning to lose a little bit of impact, but still really cool. Now, I will say, ignoring the impact frames, the effects here of like to show the impact of the hit, where you see these lights coming from it, and then they phase out of existence. But more important, alright, and this is very, very reminiscent of a dragon's roar. When you see how people animate dragon roars in anime and in these gacha games and in basically everything. Alright, when they do dragon roars, it's supposed to be powerful, and what they do is they emit it from a single point, and they blur from that point. Everything kind of blurs outwards in this kind of, you know, kind of speed line way, and you can see it here, but everything is blurring from the impact. It's very reminiscent of a dragon's roar. It could just be, you know, the power from the clash, but I think they went for a really specific type of blur here. It feels very reminiscent of dragons roaring in fantasy. Oh, we're losing even more! Oh, goodness. We spent the first minute and 20 seconds losing. Oh, Durin, no! Yeah, what is that, by the way? Hang on. So, wait. So, he's blocking with the sword. And then he's like, ah, and the sword is no longer in his hand over here. Maybe it's in this hand, but what is this thing here and here? Is it just like effects? Who knows? Nah, this 1,000,000% looks like a good game animation. I bet that's his burst. I haven't watched the stream, I haven't watched the trailer for the new update yet. I guess I'm going in this patch blind because I haven't had the time to watch it, and the two, I feel like, you know, making a reaction video of the live stream. It's a bit late. I missed the, you know, when it was popular. People aren't gonna be searching for that anymore, so I feel like it's not gonna get that many views, so I just, you know, haven't bothered. Yeah, this is 1,000,000% his burst animation. And that 10 is scribbling. It's wasting ink and paper. It's just scribbling all over the words. We're losing even more. Oh no, Durin, minus 1,000 aura. Oh, we got jabbed in the hearts. Okay.
But you, my child.
Dang, they're showing the paper falling, here the transitioning into Durin falling from the sky.
Why should your fate
And now he's falling with the paper. That's pretty cool. And now he's turning back into the Simulanka dragon. Okay. This isn't related to the demo, but I am curious because Simulanka was an event that you could miss, and then they deleted that whole entire event from the game. Even though they probably shouldn't have, because it was a really fun map to explore. It had really good puzzles, and I really don't think they should have deleted it. But what do you guys think? Do you think it was a good idea for them to delete that entire event? And then now, like, the story is capitalizing off of the lore from that event, but not everyone got the chance to do that. So for a lot of people, Durin just showed up out of nowhere, and they're, like, for them to expect the players to know who this dragon is. I feel like that's a bit, you know, that's kind of asking for a lot. Hopefully in the game, they give us a little summary of what happened in Simulanka. Maybe it's a little cutscene. Maybe it's a little, you know, a little blurb of text that we have to read over. Or maybe Paimon just says, remember that time you went to Simulanka? And then you did this, and you did this, and you did this? And then it'll touch the new players up. I didn't get through the event.
To offer him a different outcome, as long as
The aesthetic of this trailer is amazing. Having it like this kind of like... It looks kind of like a play or a paper diorama. The way it's painted, it does look kind of like a play set. You know, if you're watching a play and you see like the set is made out of these wooden cutouts that they painted and then they layered them to make them look a little bit more 3D. It looks like that, but it feels like a paper diorama with how detailed it is.
as long as I still have enough time. Don't worry.
Oh my goodness, Alice! We will be pulling Alice, 100%. I will even spend money for Alice.
Daring indeed. But then again,
Oh, Albedo, please! However, update his model. He doesn't look like any of his 2D art. Albedo doesn't. Like it... I feel like they really need to update his model. It doesn't look... His 3D model in-game does not look like the same quality as the illustrations they put Albedo in. He looks so baby-faced in-game, but then you see how they draw him and they make him look very, you know, very handsome. Having all these NPCs blurred out to put focus on Albedo looks really sick though.
experiments always
Yeah, this is the experimental paralogism that brought Durin into existence. Dang, the flippin', the heart beating, the dragon heart beating. This is a thing that scares me in Dragon Spine. Like, that thing looks so out of place. It's supposed to look like that. It's supposed to feel off-putting when you're near it. Name ink is golden now. The holy aura in the light! And the golden glow will cook the evil side. Oh wait, is this him being written into existence? That's what this entire demo is symbolic of? Oh shoot, this is him during the paralogism storyline. So him fighting the inner demon is him like trying to become human. And now, that's such a cool transition! Okay. Alright, first off, let's go over this again real quick. Yeah, so this entire demo. It's him during that experiment, during the alchemy that Albedo is doing. It's Durin, like, fighting his inner turmoil to become a person. And Albedo is giving him that last push that lets him overcome that, you know, that's inner struggle. I am curious though. So this pen writing here, I thought it was just writing like the story. I was writing the story of Durin, writing him a happy ending. But now that we're seeing the ink is like it's glowing golden, right? I think this might actually be this might be again, correct me if I got the names wrong. Right, M. I think it's M, right? This might be the person Durin considers mom. I think it's him. It's her writing this is like alchemical stuff to give that last boost to the paralogism storyline. Like, this is behind the scenes, we didn't know this was happening. I think this is magic happening to bring Durin into existence. So it was a combination of multiple things, multiple layers. Durin overcoming his inner turmoil, Albedo setting up the alchemy needed to actually bring him into existence, and then also this final bit here, I think it's M writing out the story to, like, you know, really solidify Durin's existence. This is the part I wanted to watch again too, by the way. This is what I went back for, and I went back too far. But gosh dang, the heart is shattered because, again, right, the original Durin in Dragon Spine, not a completed being, died horrendously, you know, died a horrible death, was very bitter and angry, and then piece of it got split off, and we're using that piece to form the new Durin, a properly completed being. And it's interesting to see that, like, they visualize it as a broken heart, and we're fixing that heart, and now he's whole again. And seeing that, like, he has an X across it as if it's caged up, but when it forms, it spins around to show, like, the full heart in its glory. It's ornamented now. And then, boom, it was all a flashback. He was having a PTSD flashback while looking into the fire while cooking for his new little sister, Klee. I do wonder how Klee views Durin. I hope we get to see some more interaction between the two, because As we all know, Albedo views Durin as a brother, and Klee views Albedo as an older brother. So if the older brother's brother has entered the picture, does Klee automatically view Durin as another brother? And even though he's a lot taller, does she view him as the older or the younger brother? Because as we all know, Durin is not fully experienced with the world. He is still doing a lot of learning. So in a sense, him and Klee are kind of like of the same, like, mental status is not quite it, because I feel like Durin has a lot more maturity than Klee. But like, he knows way less about the world, if that makes sense.
It's done.
Oh, yay! We just gotta finish it before Master Jean sees.
That is so cute. I love that they're bringing Klee back. They're bringing Klee back. They're bringing Klee back. I can't even say it. They're bringing Klee back. I'm getting the L part of the name and the word mixed up. But they're bringing her back. She's getting more screen time. For anyone that doesn't know, alright, I adore this character. She is so cute. This is the first 5-star that I tried to pull for. And it's kind of why I started playing Genshin, because I saw this character and I just thought she was so adorable. Alright, cuteness is like my #1 weakness. I love cute characters, cute things, and I love plushies, and I love, cute characters. And Miss is just an adorable bundle of joy. I love watching her. But she only got like a 30-minute story quest, and then we really didn't see her that much after it. Because again, this is 1.0 Genshin, right? Genshin didn't have the big crazy budget it had back then as it has now. So the story quests were definitely a lot more lackluster in comparison to the current modern quests. And so a lot of her 1.0 characters they don't get the screen time they deserve. I feel like one of the characters they got done the most dirty was Venti. Venti's story quest is honestly kind of boring. Like, it's not that great. You just following some adventurer guy, helping him remember not his past, but like the adventures of his friend, and he's impersonating his friend or something like that. And then Venti kind of shows him the light, and then that's the extent of the story quest. That's it. We don't get any Venti lore. We don't spend too much time on Venti. We only really get to know a little bit of Venti's character through his actions. And so I'm like, for being an Archon, I feel like, Venti deserves more screen time. So hopefully we see more of that in the upcoming story. Again, I have not watched the live stream. I actually have no idea what is going to be happening. And I would kind of like to keep it that way. This is the first time I'm entering into a live stream. Or not to live stream, first I'm entering into a Genshin story with essentially no idea what I'm getting into. I don't know what the update is bringing. I don't know what the direction of the story is. Because again, the last story, it kind of finished an arc. It finished the whole thing with Ramir. We know what's up with him already. That's kind of done for now until he comes back. Well, I assume he comes back, right? So we're starting a whole new arc here, a whole new little story beat. And I don't know what we're going to do with it. So I'm curious. I'm curious and excited.
Master Jean sees.
Oh, I guess that's the trailer. Is there after credits? Nope, there is not. That's it. That's all. Alright. Honestly, this got me really excited. I'll be honest, I don't know what to say. So with Genshin, I love Natwan. Don't get me wrong. I love Natwan. I love Fontaine. I love Sumeru. I loved all of the regions. Honestly, everything in Genshin I enjoyed. I did have my complaints here and there. Like, I feel like the story pacing was a bit rough. I feel like, there's reliance on the world quests, and those are optional. And then I feel like sometimes they just didn't explain everything they could have properly, and they spent too much time talking to NPCs. But, and then this is throughout all of Genshin, okay? This isn't just, complaining about one thing. But with, 6.0, with Luna, the Luna version, I feel like because we're, bringing back old characters, we're really diving into like the core lore of Genshin. We had this whole thing where we learned everything about Dainsleif and what happened down with him. And we're learning about the sinners and all this. The story in Genshin has gotten me so hyped. I've been enjoying it so much. And at this point though, and I hate to admit, I am really playing mostly just for the story at this point. The exploration is something that I'm burned out on it completely, I think. I feel like running around the open world, I've done it too much throughout the entirety of Genshin. Maybe one day when I feel like I've had enough of a break from that exploration and stuff, maybe we go back and explore all the regions I've just been skipping out on. But This story has been immaculate. I'm really enjoying it. They've been putting in more effort, more cutscenes, more full-screen arts, actually animating the characters in-game. But I've been saying that they should have been doing that for the longest time, and they're finally doing it for the past couple story patches. And apparently... there again, apparently we're gonna get more story, right? I feel like that makes sense. Normally we're done by like this point. I mean, we've done all the Archon quests, but apparently we're gonna get more. I don't know if they're gonna end it in this patch or if they're gonna keep going. I really hope they just keep it going. The entirety of all of the Luna versions, we're just gonna get main story. I feel like that would really up my motivation to like super duper keep up. Because I feel like those dry patches where we don't do main Archon quests, where we're not doing Dane Slave quests, where it's like, you know, a festival and that's it. I feel like those take me out of it so much. I feel like my motivation really dwindles during those time frames. Even though I enjoy the festivals, even though I enjoy the screen time for the characters, I want to see where the story is going. Anyway, I just had a bit of a tangent that I got on. Alright, let's watch this again from the beginning. I know we're 30 minutes in. And I haven't actually watched it through without pausing. So let's watch it again. Let's see how the flow of this goes, and let's enjoy the music as well.
In a fairy tale, always turning fate on its head and getting there happily ever after. These are tales where even lost souls can find their way back to the
There
light,
really is a sense of mystery to the music.
pain and misfortune can be cured
It
with
feels very magical, kind of Harry Potter-esque, if that makes sense. I think that's just us leading into like the witches circle, the hexen circle, to show that hey, we have not necessarily wizards but witches. We have the witches kind of involved heavily here. Alright, the adventurous music coming up. Durin is beginning to fight back. Oh, this is so dramatic, I love it. Yeah, the music is like, it feels like a, you know, like a solemn dance between him and his inner self. Oh, the strings coming in. They're building up the tension, but it feels like he's starting to lose.
But you, my child, born under a pen.
Yeah, the music is like, yeah, he lost.
Transcend these pages. So, you seek to offer him a different outcome? As long as I still have it.
He wasn't supposed to win, not without outside influence.
We'll all help. Daring indeed.
The music is like winding back and forth as Durin navigates everything. That's really cool.
Always are.
Yeah, okay, triumphant? Does triumphant rise up? Okay, that's pretty fire.
Witness my great undertaking.
Oh, the low note.
It's done.
Yay! We just gotta finish it before Master Gene sees.
I'm curious, wait a minute. That low note really does change everything with like the concept. This changes everything. Alright, but like for real though. So, his heart gets completed. But we get hit with this kind of ominous low note and we look at him. And it's something in between, right? This isn't how he looks normally. But this doesn't look like the kind of inner evil version. It's something in between. It's like a mix. Like he didn't fully win. And then it fades to his eyes being... Again, I'll let you know, we watched it all the way through me. It's okay for me to pause. But it fades to like the dragon eyes as if it's like, oh, inside I'm still the evil dragon. Interesting. Oh, goodness.
Where pain and misfortune
Wait, let's see. Can I get a close-up of his face again?
or even getting there happily ever after.
Yeah, if you look right, his eyes here He's got the bright hair, like the really light lavender purple hair. His eyes are a deeper crimson, but they kind of lean more towards pink. And so here, it has an ominous note, and it's something in between him and the evil dragon. It's got the, you know, the kind of deeper, more orangey, they're redder rather than more pink. And again, it's partially lighting, but I think that's what they're kind of suggesting, that like, his inner battle still isn't over. But he snapped back to reality by this adorable little, walking bomb-wielding child that is this walking natural disaster that levels mountains with her bombs. Well, I guess that's the Durin trailer. The Durin, flipping a story born for this. I know I milked a 2 minute and 49 second video for 35 minutes. That's just how we do things here, right? Again, that's everything that we found while watching it do. But it's not just about finding the secrets for me, right? I want you guys to enjoy the animation. I want you guys to look more, not just at how pretty it is, but also just understanding the concept that, you know, this was a lot of hard work, and a lot more of it was intentional than you'd think, right? They're not just animating it to look pretty. They're directing, and the director is directing this to kind of lead your eyes around the stream in such a way, and lead your emotions in such a way. Right? And this isn't just achieved by, you know, just making the trailer, by making something pretty, right? There's so much extra effort and thought put into how the characters are posed, if they're on the left side of the screen, if they're on the right side of the screen, and how they're gonna move along with the music, how the music plays into this, the timing of the cutting of the camera, the way the camera spins around the characters. All that, it's all just a culmination of hard work, and it's all really thought out for most of these gacha trailers. And that's why I love going over the stuff frame by frame. Anyway, I think that's my reaction. I think that's all I can say, that's all I can add. I'm very excited for this trailer. I'm really excited for this character. I will be pulling Durin. Like, nothing will be able to stop me. I will be pulling Durin. I will be an unstoppable coring monster until I get him. And if you want to see that, be sure to hit subscribe. I live stream here on YouTube. I live stream on Twitch as well, if you guys want to see that. If you enjoyed the video, then please hit that like button. I would very much like it if you did. Let's YouTube algorithm know that I am a content creator worth watching. And also, if you enjoyed this, I would like to know your thoughts down below. Alright, are you gonna be pulling for Durin? Did you like the lore? If I got anything wrong, alright, I'm still unsure if M is the right name that I should be saying for Mona's Is it Mona's Master? Is that the right one? I don't know. Please let me know in the comments down below. I should probably just have read the lore before I did this, but I just hopped right into it. I saw the trailer, I got excited, hopped right into it. That's how it goes. Anyway, with that one, hope you all had a good night. Remember, in Tanouji, so I will see you all next time. Bye!